We got to look at about 15 minutes of Ohio State football practice today. 3 sessions from their Wednesday practice here at the Peach Bowl in advance of playing Georgia. Nathan Baird from cleveland.com along with Stephen Means. We were inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and we don't get to see a lot in terms of X's and O's and scheme. They're not showing us that kind of stuff, but it's mostly about who's there, who's not, and how do they look. And the most notable thing was Miyan Williams was not there. We were told on Tuesday's interviews, you guys were here, I was not, I was still driving down from Chicago, that he was under the weather, and apparently that was the case again today because he was completely absent from the portion that we were able to see, at least, those 15 minutes. Dallin Hayden was the first running back through drills, followed by Chip Trainum, followed by Caden Saunders, who's a walk-on. So if Miyan Williams can't go or is limited, obviously some depth issues for Ohio State with Trevion Henderson already being out. And it's not everything. It's only Wednesday. It's been a long season. He's been practicing at some point during the break since Michigan, but it's not nothing to miss a Tuesday or Wednesday practice. Those are usually the heavy, big practices of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to freak out. It is a bit of everything. We've been doing this dance with the running backs all year of will they or won't they have a guy. So missing a Tuesday practice, missing a Wednesday, missing a media availability, whatever. That he doesn't want to talk to us. So Ronnie Hickman missed as well. They replaced him with Steel Chambers, but then we saw Ronnie Hickman at practice. Miyan Williams already has an injury history going back to last season, and now they're already down Trevion Henderson, and we don't know if he practiced yesterday. We don't know when the last time he practiced. I did ask people, hey, how does he look? C.J. Stroud said he looks like he's back to his normal self. Well, his normal self or even the injured self wasn't out there on Wednesday when we were in there for practice, and so that's a pretty big deal at this point. I think it is everything because it's really interesting when you look at this running back room. Everything Tony Alford planned to do with this running back room does not exist as far as a Wednesday practice is concerned. There's the guy who went first is Dallin Hayden, who you thought was going to be your fourth running back and maybe just take a redshirt year. And the guy that was right behind him is a guy who was in the linebacker room when he first got here. And as of yesterday, he told us he had only been in the running back room since Iowa. And before the Michigan game, he had only had one carry. Even the walk-on situation, it's your second walk-on because TC Caffrey is hurt. So I understand. We have to, mind some of this and do it's not everything, but it's not nothing. But it's a lot closer to everything than it is nothing at this point with that position.
And listen, this is something that Ohio State's dealt with in the playoff now, going back. You could say it starts in 2016, right, with Mike Weber kind of being whatever. So Curtis Samuel had to be both the best running back and the best receiver. That's not ideal, and it showed up, I think, a little bit in how that game went offensively. 2019, J.K. Dobbins gets banged up during the game. Master Teague has to come in a crucial spot. That doesn't go that well. Dobbins comes back in and plays, but is hampered. 2020 playoff, Trey Sermon was running his butt off. They didn't have Master Teague. He was still in concussion protocol. But then the next game, Trey Sermon gets hurt on the second play of the game, first play of the scrimmage, and throws off the whole night against Bama. Not that anything went well against Bama that night. So this is a recurring theme now for Ohio State when it gets into a playoff, is to have to kind of fix the running back situation on the fly. And I guess the positive thing, if Williams can't go or is limited, which it certainly seems like it's trending towards right now, that at least they've seen Hayden perform, if that's the guy who's up front. They've even seen Trainum perform. He played well against Michigan. But there's, also a reason why Hayden didn't play more against Michigan. There's a reason why Trainum wasn't a bigger part of the running back room. It's not an ideal situation.
It's not. It makes things interesting. I think we're all in agreement that the run game doesn't have to dominate and lead the way for Ohio State to win, but it has to be existent to a point. And we've seen some good things from Dallin Hayden against Maryland. I think, ironically enough, the guy maybe you're more confident just because of the opponent he did it against is Chip Trainum, because he did have a quality day against Michigan, but it is something to keep an eye on. And here we are again. It's will they or won't they with the running back situation is mine. The only good thing is now we know exactly Trevion Henderson isn't no longer a part of this game of musical chairs.
Other piece of the running game, Matt Jones did practice today. We saw him doing contact drills, had his right ankle very heavily taped. He didn't play the Michigan game because of that ankle, but it all sounds like he is full go. Trying to think anybody else that from the offensive side of the ball that we were really looking at. Some defensive guys, like you said, Hickman was back. Mike Hall was practicing. Cam Brown looked okay. Like you said, Hickman missing the morning interviews, kind of put my antenna up, but he was there at practice. C.J. Hicks, people had asked us about the freshman linebacker. Not that he's playing a lot of defense, but got hurt against Michigan on the kickoff. Looked bad, but he was at practice today with a brace sleeve thing on his knee. So looks like that's a positive sign for him going into the spring anyway. But it's obviously what affects the game on Saturday the Miyan Williams question is the big one, and we may not have a resolution on that until we get to pregame on Saturday. So make sure you have the text, 614-350-3315, $3.99 a month, but a 2-week free trial. If you get it now, it takes you through, I think it'd pretty much take you through the national championship game. You could just try us out for free from Buckeye Talk.